Hey guys, as you can see, I don't normally film like this. I don't normally do a video like this with a lot of things happening in the background, but this is one of the most popular filming techniques that you will see on YouTube. Everyone uses green screen. You see it all the time, you see it in the news every day, and you see it where someone is sitting like this and they'll point at a clip or they'll point at a list of different things. It's a very popular technique for filming. The idea is that you've got a green screen behind you and it will block out anything which is not green, and you can use anything you want instead. Very simplified view of it, but really there isn't too much to it because nowadays the software does all of the work. Now, normally you do see a lot of people using this in news style type of videos where they're talking about something, they're talking about an event and they're presenting something. But it's become even more popular now because of game streaming, and you're seeing a lot of people when they're streaming games, they're just focusing on their head, and that's being shown at the corner of the game. Now, of course, if I can get it here, green isn't always going to work too good. So if you've got something green on you, it might not work too good with the chroma key effect, but it does depend on what you do with your settings. Now, if I turn the background off now, you can see the actual green screen. This is a green screen from Neweer, Neweer, and this is quite a good one. You know, you can pick up green screens very cheap. You know, the actual felt for like 15 bucks or something. It's not too expensive. For, 25, 30 bucks for the frame to hold the green screen, and it's not too expensive. But this one is a little bit more expensive. It's about £120 in the UK right now, $130 in the USA, and the reason it's different is because this one pops up. Now, there are a few other brands out there. Elgato have got one like this as well now, and a few other brands, they've got one that pops up. But the beauty of this is that you don't have to have this here all the time. It collapses into a little unit, and I will show you this very soon. But the idea is that it collapses down into a little unit and you just pop it up when you need to use it. So it's a little bit more practical, and that's why a lot of people are turning towards using solutions such as this. But if I zoom out like that, you'll get a better idea of what the hell is going on here. I'm just standing in front of this green screen. As you can see here, I'm about 5'11", just under 6 foot, and you can see that it goes quite high. But how you set this up depends on a lot of different things. It depends on your lighting, it depends on how tall you are, it depends on your setup in your room and things like that. I don't know why I'm still holding that jumper, but it does depend on your setup, as to what the ideal green screen solution is for you. But I do think that the practicality of this one will make it very appealing for a lot of people. Now, heads up, Neweer did send me this for review. It's not going to influence my opinion, but thanks to them for sending that out. I am a YouTuber that does not have too many subscribers. I've got a small YouTube channel, so I do appreciate companies who do support me. But what I'd like to do now is basically show you what I've done here. Show you this unit and how I have got a green screen behind me. So let's do that now. So what we'd like to do at this point is show you how the actual mechanism works, how you get the green screen in and out. Two things to note are leg 1 and leg 2. There's 2 stabilizing legs here down at the bottom. Now, what I would say is if you just pick up the green screen and you move it around to a different position, be careful because these legs do, well, you can see, I'm not changing anything here. They do kind of move around quite easily. It's quite easy to knock them out of position, which is quite dodgy if you have the green screen up quite high. So if, for example, I move this to a different position, I didn't watch the legs, if these legs weren't extended out, then there is a risk that the green screen could fall. So just be careful of that. But the mechanism is very simple. You can't see it just yet. Well, can you see this handle? This handle is how you put it up and down. Now, if I go behind this, I'll show you exactly what this is all about. The idea is you push this down, like so. Now, what I would say is sometimes the green screen does get caught and it kind of bobbles out. If that happens, what you kind of need to do is just go down to the bottom and just kind of manually push it like that, and it works. You fold over the handle at this point, do that, clip it in. If I can get it, there we go. And then you can push the legs away, and then you've got your green screen, and you can go wherever you want with it. So you can see the packaging behind me here. It's quite a simple box. It's not really branded as Neweer. It just says projection screen on it. And yeah, the branding is quite limited. Not that that's really an issue. You know, you end up throwing this box away anyway. But yeah, that was just held together in the polystyrene like that. And there is a label that says Neweer in it, but this isn't branded. And this is the manual that you get. And I'll be honest, this is pretty pathetic as far as manuals go. And I'm not saying that this is the hardest thing to set up, because it's not. I'm not saying the manuals is, you know, the manual isn't the most important thing, but when you spend over £100, over $100, I think you need a little bit better than a photocopied black and white manual. It does tell you what you need to do to set it up and things like that, but I think they need to step up the presentation. So what I'd like to do now is show you the actual unit. I think this will give you a better idea as to what this is all about. So you can see here, it's quite a heavy little thing, but it's not that difficult to set up. Now you've got these two clips here. You need to lift this up. If you just do that, it won't open. You need to kind of lift it up so that it comes out like that. Do it the same at the other end, if I can get it. So I had to put the camera down there so that I could get that open. It was a little bit harder, that one. And yeah, this is the unit. You open it up and you can see the actual mechanism. And I think that it is well made. I do think it is well made. You know, this is like hard aluminium. There is a little bit of plastic about the place as well though, but I would say that it is well made. And the actual green screen cloth is quite well made as well. You obviously have to keep it clean. You know, if you get any marks on it, try and clean it and things like that. But lift here. There you go. And that's it there. Now, it will stop at different parts, but you want to get it to a part where it is stable. Now, again, remember what I was saying earlier? I don't have the legs moved over yet, so this is the part that I had to do. Lift this up. See, that's exactly what happens if you don't do what I told you to do. There we go. So there's one leg over. I'm going to do the other one now. Should have done this before, but this is a good demonstration. And now the legs are there, and it is more stable. Now, if I go behind, you'll get a better idea as to how this is designed. And this is it here. So you can see that squashes down like that. You can pull it up, and it works really well. There's nothing really that can go wrong here as far as pushing this up and down. You'd actually have to go out and make a point of trying to break it. It seems really, really solid. Now, if I pop this down now before you saw that I popped it down, I didn't have any problems, but if you do it down quickly, you might get something like that happening. And that's what I was saying earlier, that you can maybe kind of push this, and that will help you get it down. And it goes like that, but you can see that it's caught there. So just be careful with that. As long as you take your time, and there we go. As long as you take your time, as long as you look after it, then it should be okay. But if I come across here, I'll give you a better idea as to the actual size of it. It's pretty impressive. Now, again, this is a big thing, and even when I put this back in the box, it's going to take up a little bit of space in my room. But imagine this was here all the time, which is what normally happens with people when you see them on YouTube and they're filming and they have green screen. If they've got a lot of room in their garage and things like that, that is probably the best way to go because it's very, very cheap. But I don't have a lot of room, which is why something like this suits me a lot better. But there's nothing really else to explain here because it's quite a simple device as far as how it works. And again, just push it down. And then when you get to this area, this is where you need to kind of pay attention to the cloth. Make sure it doesn't catch here. Make sure that it's kind of aligned, that it's not like all one way and not the other. And that will help any kind of bobbling happening. But you can see here, look, one hand, got it sorted, down, there, clip it in. I can do this one hand, there we go. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So as you can see, the Neweer collapsible green screen is all packed up. And overall, I am very, very impressed. I think that, this is a very good product. I think that it is very user-friendly. And I demonstrated it there where, apart from that very, very annoying clip down at the bottom where I had to put the camera down and use both hands to unclip it, apart from that, and these things always happen when you're recording, but apart from that, everything was taken out and put back in there with one hand. I had one hand in the camera and the other hand I was able to unclip it, pull it all the way to the top, probably about 6'4" or something like that, and then push it all the way back in and made sure that the green screen wasn't bobbling and things like that. And as far as looking after this, and that is something you need to do, you need to look after this, but as far as looking after this, just watch out for the legs as I demonstrated. I pointed it out and then made the same mistake myself. Make sure the legs are extended when you're pulling it up. And also, when you're putting it back down, there's no problems when you're pulling the green screen up, when you're lifting it up. When you're putting it back, just make sure that the cloth is aligned. And if it looks like it's bobbling out a little bit, put your hand down to the cloth and just kind of manually push it around, and you'll find it tightening it up. It tightens up and then it will just float back into the unit. And yeah, you saw that in camera. It's very, very straightforward. Now, what a lot of people will be asking, should you buy this? Should you buy something else? I think for the money, this is very, very good. Now, if you're on a budget, if your money is tight and you see yourself using green screen a lot, I would probably opt for a frame and just green cloth. You can do a green screen setup very, very cheaply. I'm talking sub $20, sub $30, very, very cheaply. But with solutions such as that don't just pop up and then go away back into a nice little neat package. With solutions like that, you do kind of have to keep your green screen there all the time. If not, you need to spend a lot of time setting it up and taking it back down. And for someone like myself, that is an absolute pain in the ass, and it would probably put me off from actually using it. What I want is something where it's quick, something like that where, I'm not going to be using green screen all the time, but when I do need to use it, I want to just pop it open, film, and then put it back in. So if you're on a budget, just know that there are alternatives out there. You don't have to spend this money. But if you do pay a little bit of money and you're willing to pay over $100 for something like this, what you'll get is a collapsible unit that can be put away at the side of your room or your garage or wherever you're filming. You can put this to the side. You can put it on the floor if you want, or you can just tuck this behind your shelves, your bookcase, whatever's in your room. Put it away. It's nice. It's out the way. It's not bothering anyone. But when you want to film green screen, then, well, put it on the floor, pop it up, and you're good to go. And from a software point of view, setting up green screen is very easy. On OBS, it's like one button where you just say filter, add effect, chroma key. It's the same in Premiere Pro and other video editing applications. It's a very, very simple technique nowadays because of the software that is available. Now, there are alternatives out there. This one is cheaper than the Elgato one, but there are alternatives out there. Shop around, do your research, and thanks to Neweer for sending me this out. I do think that this is a good product. I do think they have to work on the branding a little bit. I think that a black and white manual like this is pretty pathetic, but at the end of the day, it's not a deal breaker. The most important thing is the actual unit, and it does work well. Moving forward, I will try and use this every now and then. For certain styles of videos, certain types of videos, I can use this and I can show things that, perhaps I wouldn't be able to show without it, because I can show clips and I can do different things using the green screen. I hope you found this video useful. Hopefully it will, help you make up your mind whether this is something you'd want to buy yourself. But if you've got any questions, please do leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them or point you in the right direction. Until next time, guys, take care.